and it's still connecting to the stream here. So I'm having some technological hiccups already. Okay, there we go. Now we're streaming. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show, aka TOCNS. This show is an amalgam of strange, weird, bizarre, off-the-wall, and otherwise things you don't normally see anymore from most news sources these days. During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss for the most part. For links to those articles and music done by Carrera and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Eozander, and today I am joined by...
Autoblog.
Yes. And later on we're going to be joined by our resident meathead, Kratos, a.k.a. Romister, a.k.a. Doom Guy, a.k.a. Bomb Trady currently right now. Anyway, today is Tuesday, also known as Tears Day, also known as Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. Alright. So, let's jump into the news, shall we? We're going to start us off here from Rebel News. U.S. lawmakers announced bipartisan bill to ban TikTok. And earlier today, I would have said about time, but recently I had a conversation with a friend and gave very accurate, different perspective about this. But anyway, a bipartisan group of lawmakers has introduced a bill that would ban TikTok in the U.S., citing concerns about potential Chinese government influence on the company. The Committee of Foreign Investment in the U.S. is in talks with the company about how to resolve some of the data concerns, though a solution has reportedly been delayed. The director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, has expressed his extreme concern over the Chinese government's potential influence through TikTok on U.S. users. The Anti-Social CCP Act, introduced by Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, and Representatives Mike Gallagher, Republican, Wisconsin, and Raja Krishnamurthy, Democrat of Illinois, would ban, quote, all transactions from any social media company in or under the influence of China, Russia, and several other foreign countries of concern, end quote. The bill explicitly names ByteDance and TikTok as subject to the restrictions in the bill, quote, until the date on which the president certifies to Congress that the company no longer meets any of the conditions described, end quote. So, and for further reading, please refer to the underbar of the description, to continue on this article yourself. But I'd say this is a good thing, but at the same time, I'd say it's a bad thing because of what my friend our friend Speedweed said. There are a lot of people, up and coming, blooming content creators that TikTok is their primary source of income and something for whatever reason, and outright banning something like this is not good to them. And I really wish he was on the show here to express his opinion himself and actually give that viewpoint, but it is very valid, So, but if we're not going to outright ban them, then what do we do? How do we prevent China from continuing to do what they've been doing for the past, 10 some odd years, even longer? Especially the past couple years, it's really bad. But how do you just flip the switch like that, without outright banning a program like TikTok, Yeah.
There are hardworking people who make their living with the videos, and one of their platforms is TikTok, and so essentially that will take away part of their livelihood. But on the other hand, also the concerns about the data safety are understandable, and the foreign influence.
Mm-hmm. And I see Sohan has joined us. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today? All right. Do you have anything to say about, banning TikTok, not banning TikTok? Where do you stand on this?
Yeah. Funny that you mention it. I remember a certain president wanted to do the same exact shit, but they kept on, ridiculing him over it, and we already know who it is.
Yep.
Trump wanted to do the same thing, but honestly, no, because we have a different side of TikTok that they're not seeing in China. Over here, it's like e-thoughts and shit, because their algorithms is shit. But over there, you have more positive and uplifting shit.
Yeah. Well, and as I was telling our friend, as well, Everybody wants to get, everybody wants to have like a TikTok. Everybody wants to be YouTube famous. Everybody wants to be known on Twitter. Everybody, wants to be a movie star, some kind of rock star. But at the end of the day, somebody has to pick up a shovel. Somebody has to keep the water going. Somebody has to keep the power on. Correct. And it's not like those, blue collar positions are any, are short of any openings. So
nope.
Any up and coming budding TikToker, might have to put their plans on hold for a couple of years and go get a a shovel job or something, because society does need its wheels turned. If everybody's on TikTok making videos, who's keeping the sewage going?
Literally.
So
if you get those shovel jobs, it will open new horizons for you to buy better equipment.
Yes, exactly. Boom, right
for
there.
Your videos.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on up here. More from Rebel News here. Attorney supervising FTX bankruptcy proceedings. Company run by grossly inexperienced executives who went on a $5 billion spending binge. Wow. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, or just yesterday, actually. Well, we've spoken about this a couple of times, but... Says here, attorney supervising FTX bankruptcy proceeding, we've already read that. At the House Financial Services Committee hearing on Tuesday, current FTX CEO John Ray III testified after former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested and charged with financial crimes. So he was arrested. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was out in the Bahamas vacationing, trying to avoid. Did they arrest him in the Bahamas?
They probably expedited his ass.
I hope they did.
It says he was arrested Monday night by authorities in the Bahamas in the day trial.
Yes! Justice! Says Ray, who previously managed the collapse of fraudulent energy company Enron. Oh, wow, Enron.
Ooh.
Oh, I remember that.
I haven't heard from in a while.
Wow, so, they're tied with Enron. Whoosh! Oh, man. He told lawmakers that he was working to mitigate to the greatest extent possible the harm suffered, by customers and investors. He repeated earlier assertions that FTX was the worst failure of corporate controls he has witnessed in his entire career. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Bankman-Fried was previously scheduled to testify before lawyers and now faces fraud and money laundering charges from the Securities and Exchange Commission and other federal agencies. Ray added that his team is attempting to implement corporate controls such as accounting, cybersecurity, human resources, and risk management operations while working around the clock to locate FTX assets. And then I'm going to read this last article here, or not article, but paragraph. He stated that the FTX executives embarked upon a spending binge over the past year, spending as much as $5 billion on a, quote, myriad of business and investments, many of which may have been worth only a fraction of what he was paid for them, end quote. So, whoosh.
Holy shit.
Man, dude, as soon as that Enron was dropped, I'm like, oh my god, this is big.
Dude, as soon as he drops the E word,
man. Well, all I can say is thank God justice is being served. And Pronoblob, you said that he was arrested last night in the Bahamas?
The Daily Wire says that. It's the article that is quoted here, but it's above what is quoted there.
All right. Well, you heard it here as well, people. This guy is now finally going to be facing some charges, and wow, this is what a great time during a financial collapse to bring people like this to justice. So,
man, honestly, I'm throwing him under the bus. But hey, about fucking time.
Yeah.
The buck in his way.
Someone needs to bleed. So, anyway, more from Rebel News. Twitter restores accounts to doctors Robert Malone and Peter McCullough. Good. So,
good.
On Monday, doctors Robert Malone and Peter McCullough were reinstated to Twitter following Elon Musk's reversal of the platform's, quote, COVID misleading information policy, end quote. Malone and McCullough had been suspended in January for questioning the effectiveness of vaccines. Malone, a medical doctor with a degree from Northwestern Feinberg School of Medicine and a Harvard Medical School fellowship, holds numerous patents in the fields of gene delivery, delivery formulations, and vaccines. McCullough, a former vice chief of the internal medicine at Baylor University Medical Center and a leading cardiologist, is board certified in internal medicine, cardiovascular diseases, and clinical lipidology, whatever that is. Malone was banned from Twitter in January for sharing a video that claimed Pfizer's coronavirus vaccines caused more harm than good. McCullough received his own suspension after he was questioned if vaccines were as effective as advertised by members of the Biden administration. The two doctors celebrated their return to Twitter with a series of posts. Malone wrote, "I'm back. Welcome to 5th Gen Information Warfare. The battleground is consensuous of the swarm in your own mind." Or is conscious of the swarm in your own mind. Something like. So, yeah, so good. This comes on the heels of yesterday's article where it was revealed that Trump was completely wrongfully banned. He did not violate anything. So
yeah, but you want to tell me that people who had a formal education in medicine know more about medicine than some social media moderators?
Hey, he did violate the truth and facts.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah. And I see Kratos has joined us. Welcome back. How was your shower, sir? Did you bathe in the blood of your enemies? Well, he's muted, so he's probably gargling with the blood of his enemies right now. So anyway...
He bathed in the blood orbs.
Yes, the blood orbs. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. More from Rebel News. This one's kind of weird. Cambridge Dictionary adds inclusive definitions of man and woman. How does that work?
Yeah, I heard about that today.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, it says here, the Cambridge Dictionary has recently updated its definitions of man and woman to include those whose gender identity does not correspond with their biological sex. The online version of the dictionary now includes a second meaning for man, quote, an adult who lives and identifies as male, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth, end quote, with the example sentences, Mark is a trans man, a man who is said to be female when they were born. Their doctor encouraged them to live as a man for a while before undergoing surgical transition. So, and then the dictionary definition of women or woman includes a second definition that reads, quote, an adult who lives and identifies as female, though they may have been said to have been a different sex at birth, end quote. So, lunacy. That's all I have to say.
Man.
So,
I feel sorry that Stephen Hawking went to that fucking college.
That reminds me, we have two humans at home, but unfortunately at birth they were identified as dogs.
Huh. Yeah.
Boy.
Alright. Anyway, we're going to move on up here from Audio Central. Man suffers facial paralysis after staying up to watch World Cup games for a week. So, not good. A 26-year-old... What?
That's fucking devotion, but damn.
Yeah. It says here, a 26-year-old man wound up with facial paralysis after wasting several nights watching the World Cup football game for an entire week. The World Cup is always an exciting time at football fans all over the world, but keeping up with the action is a huge challenge, especially during the group stages, and even more so when the host country is in a very different time zone. But that doesn't mean there aren't diehard fans out there who will sacrifice sleep for nights in a row to make sure they don't lose a single game. Unfortunately, that can take a terrible toll on one's body, as a 26-year-old man in China recently learned at his own expense. Now, Mr. Cao, a Chinese football fan from Wuhan in Huaibei province who lost not one night but an entire week's worth of sleep trying to watch all World Cup games, wound up in the hospital with facial paralysis. Even though China didn't qualify for this year's World Cup, Cao would make it a priority to drive straight home after work and watch the games from around 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and then go to work a couple of hours later. Good Lord!
He must have been an Argentina fan.
Wow.
A while ago, a few years ago, there was this guy in an internet cafe who played something for 11 days straight, I think, and then died.
Yeah, wasn't that Korea?
It could
Yeah,
be.
I think so. Sound like South Korea.
It was either Korea or Japan. I think it was Korea, but I remember hearing about that and like, you do need sleep. That is a medical requirement for life. You do need sleep. So.
I'm about to say, if it was Japan, Saudi men be like, that's child's play.
Yeah. It says here, it continues on, the 26-year-old man was fine for a few days, but it wasn't long before he started noticing that the lack of sleep was taking a toll on him, and by that time it was already too late. So, guys, if you're a fan of something, that's fine, but don't stay up for 12 hours every night and get this guy only got an hour of sleep, if that, a day.
Yep. Just get the updates.
That's not good.
On the matches, or the highlights.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what else to say. Moderate yourself. By 26, you'd think that you'd be, mentally, grown up enough to, realize that, you can't have everything you want. But
that is strong devotion for your sport.
Yeah, this guy should get a trophy or some kind of recognition at least,
In China? No, because he's not he's not a supporter of China.
Well, he might be, but no, I'm talking from FIFA itself. They should give him something. China won't, that's for sure. But no, the football clubs really should do something with that. So anyway, let's move on up here. This is kind of a sad story here. From the Mirror, a 2-month-old baby dies after parents left him to sleep in a box and garden shed. Why? A baby shut away in a shed during lockdown died when his carry cot tipped over tipped off a cardboard box head first, causing him to suffocate. A hearing said, "Ooh." The tiny tot, who was 2 months old, was put in the outhouse by his mother and father at the home, as the home was overcrowded, causing issues between the two. So wow. So your home is too much full of crap, so instead of taking crap outside of the shed, you put a living, breathing human being somewhere else because apparently it's valued less than the crap you have in the house. What?
Some people don't need children.
Some people should become eunuchs, really, It continues on here. Judge Stephen Parker told proceedings at a private family court hearing in Liverpool the couple had been arguing as they had a lack of sleep and intimacy. As a result, the little boy was put in the shed where he later died in June of 2020. He said, quote, "In haste or recklessly, the carry cot was placed by the mother and or father on an inappropriate and insecure cardboard box in the shed," end quote. That is tragic. That is absolutely tragic. But, I don't think these people really care. They didn't care enough about the kid when it was alive, so they probably don't care about it now. Really, really sad.
So they did not even take the time to make sure that the kid was safe wherever they put it in the shed, but just,
I'm not a fan of government overreach, but something does need to be done. There does need to be moderation over who's allowed to have children and who's not. And, as my dad would say, and I would say too, who's going to be in charge of that? I don't know. But we can't keep having shit like this. There needs to be something. And obviously, governmental, reach into this subject is the last thing we need. But people aren't going to take, societal responsibilities. So at some point, something needs to give. We can't have people, leaving their children out in outhouses all the time. So, I don't know. This is just disgusting that this even happened. Oh. Anyway, let's move on up here. More from the Mirror. Restaurant owner's desperate plea after 22 no-shows in one single night hits hard. Good Lord. Could you imagine? Relying on, what's the word? Reservations, as a restaurateur, and then, nobody shows up. That's an entire night you lost. It says here, a Greek restaurant owner has revealed how his business was hit hard after 22 people failed to show up for reservations in one night. Marios Bregu, who runs Maria's Greek Taverny in Cardiff, said despite making a booking, the no-shows left his restaurant empty on Saturday. Oh, Saturday night, that is hard. The 28-year-old who runs the Taverna in Cathays was forced to chuck out 200 pounds worth of food. Wow. He said, "It hurt me so badly to do that." Quote, "We had a table of 20 and 10 booked in, 30 people in total. We set the tables up and moved the restaurant around early evening to accommodate these, turning away other bookings. On the evening, the 8 guests in total arrived over the bookings." End quote. Because of the no-shows, Mr. Brigu also had to turn away a member of Walk-ins, Wales Online reports. He added, quote, "No-shows have been happening more in the past few months with the recession and the gas and petrol prices. I don't charge people a deposit because I know we are all struggling in the same boat," end quote. Well, maybe you should start charging a deposit because, especially with how things are going today, I wouldn't be too surprised that people, would be politically motivated to create a reservation and not show up just to cost the restaurant money if it's owned by somebody of a particular ethnicity, or political standing.
Yeah.
Like, people are assholes.
Wait, aren't the Greeks liberal?
What?
Aren't the Greeks liberal?
I have no idea. I mean, it would make sense. Their economy has completely destroyed the European Union. So,
Well, their economy was destroyed after the fall of the Bronze Era anyway.
Well, yeah, but because of Greece's incredible financial crisis, it's dragged out the rest of the entire European Union down with them. And that was one of the main reasons why the UK was trying to get out, because it doesn't matter how good the UK or France or Germany or Italy or Spain is doing. Your group is only as strong as the weakest link in the chain, and right now that's Greece. So, as far as I'm aware of, economically that is, but.
So I don't know the laws in the UK, but in Germany, if you cause financial damage to a business, you have to pay it, and even if it's by making a reservation and not showing up, if they can prove they had financial damage because of that, you have to pay it.
Well, that sounds fair,
Highly fair.
Yeah. So maybe he should start charging a cover charge. Like you're saying that everybody's hurting. Well, you're the one hurting most. Nobody's paying you. Mr. Greek restaurant guy, Mario Sprigu. Like, you gotta do something, man. So, anyway, let's move on up here. This is concerning here. More from the Mirror. Major incident declared as thousands of UK homes to be left without power for days. Wow. A major incident has been declared as thousands of homes face days without power and freezing temperatures, no less. People living in the Shetland Islands in Scotland reported a blackout on Monday afternoon, and power is expected to stay off until Thursday. SSEN Distribution is working to restore supplies to about 2,800 homes, but warned full restoration is only likely by the end of the week. The Scottish Government Resilience Room met today to discuss the impacts of the power outages and subsequently declared a major incident. More engineers are expected to arrive in Shetland on Wednesday morning, reports the Daily Record. Police Scotland has also warned residents to stay indoors to avoid treacherous weather conditions, as Shetland's area commander urged people to try and find ways to stay warm. So far, power has been restored to more than 2,500 properties, with 2,800 currently off supply in Vaud, Walhalesea, Bray, Tumblin, Yell, and Unst. So, and this is going to kind of bring me back to the story we had at the top. What if some people in here, were TikTokers? How are they going to TikTok without power? Maybe they should have become an electrician. So, yeah.
Also, we just talked about the restaurant owner who had to throw food away, and those people will be in the same position because some of the food will spoil, or they will bring it outside and then the weather conditions destroy it. Yeah,
and that's a waste of food. Especially with how expensive everything is. In the major push to switch to plant and bug-based diets, and we're just people are just not showing up to a freaking reservation that they made, and they're causing food to be wasted. These people should be punished. They should be arrested. They should be more than charged. They should be penalized for doing this. So, anyway, let's move on up here. More from the Mirror. Driver fumes as shopper stands in parking space and refuses to move. And this is another example of people being assholes. Like with internet anonymity and everything, it's created an entire society of people acting like trolls because they know nobody's gonna throw the first punch because everything's everybody's scared. At this festive time of year, parking outside of shopping centers can start to get a little heated. Yeah, as demonstrated in one recent tense interaction. In footage that has since gone viral, an outraged Audi driver can be seen furiously trying to park their car in what would appear to be a free space, absolutely incensed that a shopper is already standing in the spot. Although many would simply move on as soon as someone began honking their horn, the person in question remained firm and still, apparently determined to hold the place for someone else. The result was a standoff worthy of Clint Eastwood himself. Oh, wow. You can't call spaces like this. Come on.
Yo, I would drive off, wait for the fucker's car, and then fucking key it.
Yeah. Yes.
Black math.
And hey, if anything, you're providing a job. You're forcing somebody to go and go to a paint shop or something, or buy one of those markers or something. Like you're stimulating the economy if you're doing that. So good on you.
Yeah, but you know what? But just out of context, I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying that's what I would do.
Yeah.
For your audience,
So let it be on record: we do not condone the keying of cars, but we understand if you do. So
but I'm not gonna key the car with a key. I'm gonna fucking mark it with a marker.
Just
right cunt on your fucking car.
Yes. Just get normal paint or something. Just yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. From UP. I'm sorry. What's up, Blob?
Oh yeah, don't destroy the property of others.
Yeah, don't.
Unless they deserve it. But hey, that's your call. We're not saying one way or another. But
markers can be washed off.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Anyway, from UPI, also known as UPI, Texas man amasses collection of 24,268 video games. I'm pretty sure that's laughable compared to many people's Steam libraries.
Wait, it depends on which games.
Yeah.
Some games, like Earthbound, are $700 right now.
Jeez.
For the Super... Yeah.
Anyway, it says here, the Texas man who holds the Guinness World Record for largest collection of video games said his collection has now grown to 24,268 games. Just one game too short. Antonio Romero Monteiro of Richmond was originally awarded the record in December of 2021 when his collection totaled 20,139 games. So in the past year, he got another 3,000 some odd games. 4,000. Actually, 4,100 some odd games. Says here, continues on, Guinness World Records says Monteiro, whose collection spans more than 100 video game consoles, I didn't even know there was that many consoles, now owns a total of 24,268 games, amassing a collection worth an estimated $2.1 million. Whoa. Quote, originally my collection focused on purchasing and repurchasing some of the games I played in my youth, Monteiro told Guinness World Records. Slowly, it expanded to include games I always wanted to play but hadn't had the opportunity to, and eventually expanding to completing collections for individual systems, end quote. So, wow.
This guy has a huge backlog.
What do you want to bet? If he just spends 1 minute playing every game individually for the rest of his life, he won't be able to get through all of his collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's a lot of games. Anyway, here's a cool story. More from Upi. 90-year-old woman receives her college degree in Illinois. You go. It's never too early to get some education, or never too late to get education. A woman who dropped out of college a few semesters shy of graduation was finally presented with her bachelor's degree at the age of 90 at Northern Illinois University. The DeKalb School announced its graduating class Sunday included Joyce DeFiao, 90, of Geneseo, the oldest person who ever graduated from that university. DeFiao enrolled in what was then known as Northern Illinois State Teachers College in 1951 and attended for 3.5 years before dropping out to get married and start a family. She returned to school in 2019 and took online classes to complete her Bachelor in General Studies degree, which she received at Sunday's graduation ceremony. Nice. Nice.
So it took her over 70 years to graduate.
Hey, you know.
That was her life goal, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. I still have a life goal to get a college degree, and maybe one day, if colleges stop being the way they are today, I might go back and might actually do something with my life. Who knows? So, anyway, this one's kind of sad. From UPI, overturned truck spills load of hams, various meats in North Carolina. No! I have a feeling that this is an act of domestic disturbance from vegans. They probably intentionally caused this to crash. It says here, a collision on a North Carolina highway caused a tractor trailer to overturn and spill this load of hams and other various meats into the roadway. The city of Monroe said in a statement that the truck carrying a load of meats was traveling on Highway 74 when it ran a red light at the intersection with John Moore Road just before 7 in the morning on Monday. Ooh, running a red light, that's not good. The truck collided with another vehicle and overturned in a parking lot just off the highway. The overturned truck spilled its load, which included Smithfield hams and other various meats. The drivers of both vehicles were treated for minor injuries, and the truck driver was cited for running a red light. Good. Traffic was diverted for a few hours on Monday morning while crews cleared the meats from the scene. That is a tragedy. Like, especially in today's world, as I said before, they're trying to switch us to a plant and bug-based diet and everything. We need to hold on to every shred of meat we can get. And we just lost the whole truck. Rest in peace. So. Anyway, more from UPI. And I'm going to rattle this one off here. This is interesting. Odd 2022. The 10 oddest Guinness World Records of the year. So it says here, when most people think of Guinness World Records, they might think of the world's largest serving of guacamole or the woman with the world's largest feet, which we've actually covered in the past couple weeks. They might be surprised to earn... I'm sorry?
You covered her feet.
Yes, we covered the feet. It required a big blanket, but we did it. They might be surprised to learn of some of the record-keeping organization's most obscure categories, such as the longest journey by pumpkin boat or the farthest tightrope walk in high heels. The year 2022 was the latest in a recent string of particularly unusual years. So with that in mind, the UPI Odd News is proud to close out the year by presenting the 10 oddest Guinness World Records of 2022. We have most drink cans placed on head using air suction. So, I didn't realize you can do that. But that's interesting. The guy has a can head. And most eggs balanced on the back of hand. What? Like, how do you balance eggs on the back of your hand? That's weird. Fastest time to find and alphabetize the letters in a can of alphabet soup. Are people really that bored? Like, good lord. Go out and pick up a shovel. Get to work. Farthest tightrope walk in high heels. Okay, well that one's insane, but I can understand that. Fastest time to eat 10 Carolina Reaper chilies. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? That's just painful. Like, and I remember seeing this picture. That looks horrifying. Largest gathering of people with the same first and last name. Oh. Huh. Well, that's interesting. And then farthest distance to blow a pea. We covered this one too. Farthest distance to blow a pea. Longest journey by pumpkin boat paddling. And we saw that in the picture at the top up here. This guy is in a boat made out of a pumpkin. Paddling it like a canoe. We also have fastest time to assemble a Mr. Potato Head. Okay, once again, do people not have anything to do with their lives? Longest beard chain. We did that one too. We talked about that one as well. So yeah. And that's pretty interesting to go back and reminisce about our own past coverings and everything. So yeah, go ahead and check the link in the underbar of the description. You'll get a link to this article, which links to all these other articles. Most eggs balance on the back of the hand. What? Iraqi man balances 18 eggs on the back of his hand for world record. Oh wow, look at that. So he's basically using his hand to hold a bunch of eggs. Instead of the palm, he's using the top. So, that's wild. Anyway, let's move on up here from NPR. Inflation has reached the North Pole as Santa's shortage looms. Oh no, Santa! It turns out that Santa might actually not be coming to town, or at least it may be harder to book him than it was for Christmas in the past. And no, it's not because kids have been naughty this year. Instead, you can blame the ghost of economy present. Planet Money's sources at the North Pole reveal that Santa's services are more in demand than ever, and he and his helpers are having a hard time keeping up. Mitch Allen, the founder and self-described head elf of HireSanta.com, one of the world's largest staffing agencies for holiday entertainers, he recently joined us on a video call from the North Pole, actually Fort Worth, Texas. Donning a green elf suit and fur-lined hats, Allen told, what is this source? NPR, that his industry is overwhelmed with Santa requests. Quote, "Here at Hire Santa, demand is higher than it's ever been before," Allen says, end quote. His company has seen a 125% increase in demand for Santa compared to holiday seasons before the pandemic. For every new Santa who wants to work for his company, Allen says he has 20 clients clamoring for Kris Kringle's jolly services. More quotes, "We are turning down more events this year than we have ever turned down before. There's definitely a shortage of Santas." So, end quote. So, yeah, we have a Santa shortage.
But it's not because the children were naughty, it's because the adults were naughty.
Yeah. Well, this year I believe we can say that the politicians have been naughty. So, but
yes.
yeah. Santaflation, huh? Delays in the Santa pipeline. The Christmas miracle of a functioning market. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a lot in this article. So this is a lengthy read. So I advise our viewers to go go to this link, go check this out here. Anyway, our last but not least article here. This one's really interesting. From AP News, Mars rover captures the first sound of Dust Devil on Red Planet. Interesting. It says here, what's a dust devil sound like on Mars? A NASA rover by chance had its microphone on when a whirling tower of red dust passed directly overhead, recording the racket. It's about 10 seconds of not only rumbling, a gust of up to 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour, but the pinging of hundreds of dust particles against the rover Perseverance. Scientists released the first of its kind audio on Tuesday. It sounds strikingly similar to dust devils of Earth, although quieter since Mars' atmosphere makes for more muted sounds and less forceful wind, according to the researchers. The dust devil came and went over Perseverance quickly last year, thus the short length of the audio, and the University of Toulouse's Naomi Murdoch, the lead author of the study appearing in Nature Communities. At the same time, the navigation camera on the Parkes rover captured images while its weather monitoring instrument collected data. So let's take a listen to this. As soon as it loads. Well, it doesn't appear it's going to load. So here we go. So let me pause the music here. Alright, and there you have it. That was audio recorded on the Red Planet. What a time to be alive. Wow.
There was also a scientific article about it published today.
Do you have the link for that?
I posted it in the...
Oh, yes, you did. Alright, I'm going to add these to the underbar right now. So, adding these, put it up. 1 and 2. Copy link. Yeah, see the criminal charges against Bankman-Fried revealed from earlier. So, I have that in there as well. Alright. That shall be it for today. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of different, odd, and otherwise unknown news, we stream Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And what time is it in Germany?
11 p.m.
All right. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I'm Protoblob.
And earlier in the show, we had the one, the only, the legendary, the man, the myth, legend, Soen himself. And, of course, Kratos in the live studio audience, currently known as Bomb Trading. Anyway, Until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in history, we have a history show every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. Whatever the case, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!